Update. Am I the a-hole for messaging the husband of my husband's affair partner? Original post. I found out my husband, of nearly 20 years, is cheating. For the second time. I know, fool me once and all that, but needless to say, my blood will not stop boiling. We are getting divorced. I just had this hunch that the affair partner was also married. Something about my husband's comments about her didn't add up. Since he was too checked out to even bother with a burner phone, it took about 5 minutes with a phone bill and 10 minutes of Googling to find an email address for her husband. I'm not on Facebook, so it probably would have been faster if I was. I sent him an email, and within 5 minutes my husband was texting me, asking what I had done, and saying I destroyed a family today. All I can say is, I wish someone would have told me the first time he cheated, so I wouldn't have hung out with the woman and been friendly. This guy is in a similar situation, as he and my husband know each other. I actually sent the email from a burner address and didn't out my husband, in case I was wrong somehow, but it's clear to me based on my husband's comments that the affair partner named him. The affair partner swears she's been trying to end things with her husband and he won't listen. Maybe that's true, but it's also possible she's totally playing my husband and hasn't said anything to hers. Affair partner's husband wants to talk to me, and I'll probably call him. So, am I the a-hole for telling my husband's affair partner's husband about the affair? Did I destroy a family? Should I have just kept my mouth shut? Should I not speak to him? My boiling blood may be clouding my judgment. Now for the top comments before reading the update. She destroyed her own family. Your garbage husband blaming you just shows how worthless he is. I know, right? Husband makes the active and deliberate decision to bang another man's wife and then accuses his wife of breaking that family. As if he and his affair partner weren't the ones who did that. Yes, he doesn't even think it's his and the affair partner's fault. So does OP really have any reason to keep living with this guy? Funny how your D-head husband didn't give a crap about your family. The only reason he's concerned about hers is because he's not gonna keep getting laid now. He can dry hump a cactus into the sunset. Lol, thank you for that. Counterpoint, if affair partner isn't married anymore, he's afraid she's going to expect a more serious relationship with OP's husband, and he just wanted somebody to bang. Well, all I can say is that the affair partner's husband would have appreciated knowing this happened versus not knowing. That's what I thought too. I know I would have, and I say that from experience. Now for the update. First, thanks to all for reading my original post. I am still amazed at how many people took the time to comment. So many made me laugh, and so many shared personal stories. It was truly cathartic. On to the update. The day after my original email to the affair partner's husband, he and I talked on the phone. He was shocked to learn about the affair. Poor guy. I could tell he was struggling, as he wanted to believe all the lies she had told him, and was desperate to believe they hadn't had sex, like she claimed. My husband says the same, but given the fact that he's a proven liar, I didn't believe it for a second. Affair partner's husband said he was worried for his kids. He explained he was embarrassed, as my husband and he are part of the same circle. I said I could relate, given my first experience of infidelity. He was grateful to me for reaching out and thanked me. After that conversation, my husband texted me, upset that I had revealed his prior affair and claiming I only did it to hurt him, because it is of course all about him. I explained that the conversation I had with this guy had nothing to do with him. When I mentioned the prior affair, it was in the context of a relatable life experience. I honestly thought it wouldn't be a secret between cheaters anyway, but I guess the affair partner wasn't happy to learn about it. I know, shocker, cheaters cheat. I guess she thought she was special. At this point, my husband was still sleeping at the house. I woke up the next day feeling like I couldn't breathe. It ended up being a full-blown panic attack, which only stopped after I started screaming at my husband, telling him he needed to leave the house. He is officially not living here anymore and will be packing up the rest of his stuff during an upcoming weekend away that I have planned with friends. I am very sad and very angry, but I'm starting to feel like I can breathe again. Sorry to disappoint so many who wanted me to meet him in person and sleep with him. All of those comments made me laugh. That would have made for a much more exciting update. If anything else noteworthy happens, I'll post another update. Cheaters don't deserve secrecy, and you don't owe them silence. Good on you for choosing your sanity over their comfort. Exactly this. Protecting their image just lets them keep doing damage. Speaking up takes real guts. For real, keeping quiet only helps them hide their bad behavior. You did the right thing, even if it was tough. It boggles my mind how people willingly cheat knowing full well the consequences. It's even more outlandish when they act as if it's everyone else's fault. You did nothing wrong by exposing him and contacting the other family. They ruined their marriages and their families, not you. It's an unfortunate situation, but at least you did the right thing in my mind. Cheaters deserve everything bad that happens to them. Cheating isn't a mistake. You can never justify it with any situation. The other woman thought she was special. She now knows that she was just another side chick. The mental gymnastics are astonishing. Now reality is setting in, that she destroyed her family for a few fleeting moments of new relationship energy. Hopefully, she suffers the consequences of her betrayal. You did the right thing by letting her husband know the truth. She was playing him for a fool. Nobody deserves that. She really thought she was the only one. Imagine losing your family because you couldn't keep your vows, and you believed a man who turned out to be a serial cheater. Next story. Am I the a-hole for secretly DNA testing my daughter? I, 36 male, have been married to my wife, 34 female, for 8 years. We have a 6-year-old daughter, Lila. I love her more than anything, but there's always been this nagging feeling. She doesn't look like me at all. Different hair, eyes, even her mannerisms and allergies don't run in my family. I tried to ignore it, but curiosity and anxiety got the best of me. About 3 months ago, I swabbed her cheek while she was sleeping and sent it off for a paternity test. I never told my wife. I got the results last month, not mine. I was crushed. I confronted my wife immediately. She broke down and confessed that during a rough patch early in our marriage, she had a one-night stand with a co-worker while we were on a break. She never thought I'd find out and said she truly believed I was the father. I was angry, devastated, betrayed. I told her I needed space and moved into a friend's house. We've barely spoken. She's begging me not to tell anyone and to keep being Lila's father because biology doesn't matter. But I can't unsee the betrayal. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I told my parents and siblings everything, including that Lila isn't biologically mine. My wife is furious and says I just destroyed our daughter's entire future and stability, that I outed something that didn't need to be revealed just to punish her. I'm not sure if I'll stay in the marriage, but I love Lila. I raised her as my daughter for 6 years. Still, I feel like I was lied to every day of her life. My wife says I'm ruining everything over a single mistake. Am I the a-hole for secretly DNA testing my daughter without telling my wife? Not the a-hole. Your wife is the a-hole for cheating and most likely knowingly letting you raise a child that isn't biologically yours. She didn't believe it was yours. I think that's total BS. She destroyed your marriage and Lila's future. If she didn't want anyone to find out, she shouldn't have done it. I would definitely divorce this woman because she not only cheated on you, but let you believe Lila was yours the entire time. She never would have come clean. She has not taken accountability and blames you for destroying your lives. The correct response would be to apologize and do everything she can to show you that you can trust her. Divorce her. Unfortunately, there is no right answer when it comes to a situation like this. For some people, it's better to cut ties because they can no longer be a loving parent to a child they found out is from an affair. A resentful parent is not better than having that person still around. As for Lila, that is way above Reddit advice. You need therapy immediately. I would start there before you decide whether you want to continue with Lila in your life. Lila needs therapy. She is going to have to be told the truth. Personally, I couldn't just walk away from a daughter I loved, regardless of DNA, but I could walk away from the cheating trash that is hopefully to be your soon-to-be ex. I'm so glad to see this here. 99 out of 100 times, everyone's reaction is basically, as a man, you can go F yourself for feeling anything but love for that child, and you're a failure if you do anything else. Not the a-hole. Depending on where you live, you only have up to a year to denounce parentage. Your wife is unrealistic. I believe I saw in one Reddit thread that in Texas, you have 90 days after discovering that it's not your child to do something about it. Otherwise, you'll be on the hook for child support for the full 18 years. I wouldn't waste time with this, OP. Look into your state laws on this matter, unless you don't mind paying child support for a child that isn't yours for 12 more years. And I'm sorry that your wife betrayed you, OP. Next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving a guy mid-date because he brought his mom? Okay, so I went on this first date with a guy I matched with a couple of weeks ago. Let's call him Kevin. Not his real name, but it fits the vibe. You'll see why. Everything was going fine before the date. Texting was fun, he was sweet, and he didn't give off serial killer energy. He suggested this cute cafe downtown, and I thought, okay, cool, simple, low pressure. I show up a few minutes early, order an iced latte because I was already kind of nervous, and wait. Then I see him walk in, with another woman. At first I thought maybe his sister, friend, coworker who randomly needed a ride? Nope. He walks right up, gives me a hug, and goes, "This is my mom. I figured she'd love to meet you." I laughed because I thought he was joking. Like, haha, Kevin's got jokes. But his mom smiled, sat down across from me, and started asking me questions like I was interviewing for the position of wife number 1. Now, I'm not trying to be rude. She was actually really nice. Maybe too nice, but I was caught so off guard. I asked, wait, she's staying for the whole date? And Kevin says, yeah, we always do this. My mom gives me vibes on girls I date. It saves time. I choked on my latte. Not only was I being judged by a complete stranger, but apparently, this was a recurring thing for him. Like, this woman has probably sat through more dates than I have this year. After about 10 minutes of weird small talk, his mom asked if I wanted kids and if I was spiritual but not religious. I just stood up, said, hey, I think I'm gonna head out, and left. I didn't make a scene. I paid for my drink. I even smiled on the way out. But Kevin texted me later calling me disrespectful and said I didn't give him or his mom a fair chance. I showed this to my group chat, and most of them were crying laughing, while the rest said I could have just stayed and been polite. But honestly, I didn't sign up for a family dinner interview on a first date. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for leaving mid-date because a guy brought his mom and didn't warn me? Now for the top comments. WTF? That dude is cracked. Bet he doesn't get a lot of second dates. Not the a-hole. Right? I felt like I accidentally walked into a Meet the Parents reboot. I was just waiting for her to pull out a checklist and ask for my family medical history. Definitely no second date, unless he brings his grandma next time for backup. Oh my god. So Mummy says she's nice and you can move to individual dates? Just the two of you? I'm laughing in disbelief that he would be so upfront about it. Next time, you know to clarify if it's just the guy you're meeting, or if you should also bring a parent. It's more disrespectful to spring your mother onto your date. You don't need Mummy to interrogate a person, especially without warning. If he relies on Mummy this much, red flags. No point staying when you've made up your mind about him. Plus, he didn't need to pay for your drink. He should just enjoy a coffee with his number 1 lady. Sorry, I can't imagine a world where I'd go on a first date with either of my sons. Anyone who told you you should have stayed is delusional. There's a very good reason that Kevin is single, and that's because he is a mama's boy. You obviously did the right thing by leaving. Right? I was starting to wonder if I was the weird one for not wanting a third wheel on a first date, haha. Like, I'm all for close families, but not, mom evaluates my romantic prospects over coffee close. Thank you. I feel so validated now. Not the a-hole. I really wish people would stop with the stay and be polite. Just know, you don't owe anyone your time. You're not responsible for being polite and sparing his feelings. You were polite. You didn't waste any more of your or his time. Thank you. That's exactly how I felt. Like I wasn't rude. I just didn't sign up for a surprise audition in front of someone's mom. I honestly thought I was being polite by just leaving quietly and not making it awkward. Glad someone gets it. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to cook for my boyfriend anymore after he said cooking is a woman's job and that I should know my place? So I, 24 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 28 male, for about a year. We moved in together 3 months ago. Before we lived together, I'd cook a few times a week when we hung out, but we also ate out or ordered in. Once we moved in, it slowly turned into me doing 100% of the cooking. At first I didn't mind, I'm pretty good at it, and it felt nice to make us dinner. Then it started to feel expected. He wouldn't even offer to help. I'd come home from work, I work full-time too, and he'd just be sitting on the couch, scrolling or gaming, asking, "What's for dinner?" Not even a "need help?" or "should I pick something up?" It got under my skin, but I let it slide for a while. The breaking point was last week. I was really tired and asked if he could make something simple, literally just pasta. He laughed and said, "Cooking is a woman's job. You should know your place." He said it in this half-joking tone, but there was no joke in his face. I was stunned and asked if he was serious. He just said, "That's just how it is. My mom always cooked for my dad. That's what women do." I didn't even argue. I just said, "Cool, then make your own dinner from now on," and walked away. I haven't cooked a thing since. He's been either eating frozen crap or complaining that I'm being immature and punishing him over one comment. He keeps saying he didn't mean it that seriously, and I'm blowing it out of proportion. He says relationships are about roles, and that I'm disrespecting him. But I work, I pay bills, I clean, and I never signed up to be his live-in cook. Why are you even with this guy? You should know your place? WTF? Yeah, that line shook me too. I didn't expect him to say that, and I'm still trying to process it. The fact that he waited until you moved in with him to reveal this about himself is a huge red flag. Run, girl. He thinks he has you trapped. Wow. So once you moved in, he dropped the mask and is letting you know what he thinks of you and the role he expects you to play in the relationship? If you are not okay with his expectations, then the course of action is to decide what your boundaries are. Sit down and have a conversation with him about the situation, and then based on how that goes, either proceed with caution and see if his actions and words support what you both agreed on, or recognize he isn't willing to respect your boundaries and make plans to leave. I wish you the best, not the a-hole. Yeah, it really does feel like once I moved in, the mask came off. I didn't expect such a shift in how he treats me or what he expects from me. I'm thinking hard about what my boundaries are and whether this is something I'm willing to keep working through.